You know, this journey of life, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's just simply you just living your life, it is quite an experience, right? And with this experience of life, a lot of individuals like to escape it, or they try, they have the intention to escape it because they just do not have the skill set and or the ability to move forward in life with the correct manual so that they can release, they can understand, they can surrender to what it is that life is trying to bring through them. My name is Master Johnson. I have a tendency of making things make sense. You want to get closer to me, go ahead and do the things with the buttons. Go ahead and check the description. I'm always here to serve, always here to help. Today's video is going to be dedicated to those that are breaking, dedicated to those that feel the weight, the pressure of life, all right? You start making steady strides towards being able to be the entrepreneur, the man, the woman, the parent, the individual that you're called to be, that you envision yourself being. But for some reason, whenever you start to get closer, whenever you start to feel the breaking point of your dreams finally manifesting through it, desired reality finally starting to show itself, big clients, big names, big opportunities finally there, for some reason, something traumatic happens. Car explodes, car gets repossessed, somebody gets sick, injury happens, and all of a sudden expense, something typically snaps back. And what it ends up doing is it pretty much deflates all confidence that you were rocking with, pretty much deflates all identity that you were working so hard to build momentum in. Yes, in today's video, I want to speak to that individual who, even though it feels like you are breaking and it feels like you are bending, there's nothing that can break you. You may be bent, you may even dent, but you can't be broken. You can't be beaten. This is what I like to call the mindset of a martial artist. See, with the belts and the swords and everything else, I'm a lifelong martial artist. Still training till this day, grew up within it, but within the martial arts, there is three major components that essentially is interchangeably developing or simultaneously developing as it goes. Now just stick with me. It's mind, it's body, and it's spirit. Don't get me wrong, physical development inside of your martial arts is huge. Mental development is key, but spiritual development is necessary. So you cannot necessarily have or be a well-rounded martial artist and even person if you're not incorporating one or all three simultaneously and or together. Now, why am I bringing that here to you? Who said your journey in life had to be hard? When did the label of being hard, when did the label of being, how can I explain this? When did the label show up that says that you're not the person where this is easy? When did you allow yourself to fall into the identity of this is hard? What if it's not hard, it's just not what you prefer? But through the acceptance of what you do not prefer, you gain the wisdom of this thing called unconditional love for yourself, to release judgment on yourself for not having what you know you should have. And this is very high level stuff because, quite frankly, how does this pan into the mental, the spiritual, and the physical aspects of who you are? Well, it's because physically you may not be where you want to be. Mentally, you still may become triggered by your past. Spiritually, you may feel disconnected based off of the obligations that you have to abide by in order to pay your bills. And when you are mentally, physically, and emotionally or spiritually disconnected, it's very hard to feel fulfillment moving forward. So then what ends up happening is you start doing things out of condition. And then when you start to resist things or have resistance in your life, basically, where you're working the hardest you can, you're doing the most you can, but for some reason nothing is connecting, nothing is clicking. Whenever you're building momentum in the right direction, everything falls apart, snaps right back to that old reality. The reason why that is not because you're doing anything wrong. It's not because you are not right. It's because you absolutely are sending a signal that you have changed. And so what ends up happening is a version of yourself, some people call it ego, will manifest something to simply get your attention, to gain your attention. Listen to me. The reason why things go up and then boom, something happens is because if you take your focus, your attention, your mindset, your physical actions, your spiritual connection from what you're building momentum in the right direction, if you take those three things and you allow it to be persuaded, seduced, or distracted by whatever happened, well then now your intention and your attention is no longer on who you're becoming, what you are aligning with, and what is being manifested through you. Your attention and your focus is now on the thing that you feared, is now on the thing that, because you're doing it right, it had to flare up in order to get your attention so you can take your eyes, your attention, and your energy off of what you're doing right. Place it back on the very thing that holds you captive to your old self. I mean, I want you to think about this. How many times have you exited a relationship that you knew was not good for you, just to go back to that relationship? Or maybe you've seen somebody do it, where they make a decision, but then they fall back into it because that individual finally starts being the way that they wanted them to be. Or in other words, they make such a big threat that they force the other person to fall back into alignment through the obligation or through the scarcity of judgment. How many times have you felt like you wanted to leave the 9-to-5, you wanted to start your own business, everything goes great, and you start, building up the internal courage to do so, and then a bill hits, or somebody gets sick, or something happens, and then you're saying, oh wait, I can't leave this job because I don't have any income coming in, and I have to do this. So then you lay to rest that thing, you go focus on security, never go after your dreams. You see what's going on here? See, through the mastery of your mind, your body, and your spirit, you'll be able to help yourself navigate how to stay focused, how to stay intentional, how to stay so obsessed with what it is that you are becoming, identifying with, allowing to be manifested through you, that it doesn't matter what happens. The only thing that matters is who and what you are, and your deadlock focus on not losing focus whenever reality tries to pull you back, seduce you back, get you back into the version of scarcity, worry, doubt, fear, and obligation. What I'm trying to tell you is, dude, you were built for this. Truly and honestly, you were built for this. And the reason why it feels so heavy, and the reason why it feels so hard, is because you were built for it, not to deal with, but to understand that that's not your battle anymore. And if you can release, you can surrender, and you can let go of judgment on yourself when the old self reveals itself, well then when you release judgment, you release resistance. It's not about doing more, thinking more, adding more. It's about aligning with surrendering. It's about letting go of the things that are holding you back. It's letting go of the version that needs to be let go of talking about yourself, so that you can accept what you prefer. If you can understand the wisdom that I'm giving you right now, it'll take away all of the effort. It'll take away all of the frustration. It'll take away all of the things that you are applying and not seeing a result from. So to bring this around full circle, stay focused. When your reality flares up, know you're doing something right. See through it. Stay dialed in and go after it. You're built for this. You were meant for this. And that is why your old reality, your old ego is pissed. You gotta see it through, because you may bend, but you won't break. You may dent, but you won't break. You're untouchable. You're unbeatable. You're unshakable. You are inevitable. You are undeniable. My friend, you're timeless. My name is Master Johnson. Thank you for liking this video, subscribing to the channel. This is what I do. If you need help, feel free to go ahead and come join the rest of us. Find the link inside of the description. Thank you for being here. And as a master in training, you got to continue your training. So until then, stay focused, stay aligned, and stay in your mastery. I'll see you soon.